On this week's Flame Central, we look at the legendary career of Darius McGhee through the eyes of his teammates.
Plus, a former Liberty football player shares about his battle with blindness and what he's learned through the struggle. That and more on this edition of Flame Central.
Warfield finds McGhee, open three, bang!
We celebrate one of the all-time greats on the show today and a powerful story about a Liberty football alum you will not want to miss. Basically, it's another great Flame Central headed your way. As always, she's Emily Austin. I'm Matt Warner.
Yeah, Matt, it's the final week of the regular season for Liberty men's basketball, so we have to start there. It's almost tourney time, and the Flames are trying to finish strong in the lead up to the conference tournament. Yeah,
Liberty hit the road heading down to Charlotte on Wednesday to face Queens. Just the second ever meeting between the two programs. The first coming all the way back in 1984. We weren't even around back then.
No.
Liberty trying to stay alive in the hunt for the number one seed in the upcoming ASUN tourney. The Flames built a lead of as many as 8 points in the first half, but thanks to some timely three-point shooting, Queens would rally, and that would actually end up taking a 4-point lead into the break. But in the second half, Liberty flipped the switch, and Darius McGhee was electric. He would score a game-high 35 points. Now, along the way in this ballgame, McGhee would become just the fourth player in Division I history to reach 500 made three-pointers in a career, and he would become the all-time leading scorer in ASUN Conference history. More importantly for the here and now, McGhee would help the Flames take control in the second half. Liberty kept Queens at arm's length and secured the 85-77 win. Liberty improves to 14-3 in the ASUN and 23-7 overall.
Just incredible. It's hard to put into words how much Darius McGhee means to not only this current Flames team, but to the entire men's basketball program. He's arguably the best to ever wear a Liberty jersey. Honestly, after 5 years of watching him play, he still makes my jaw drop after some of those insane shots in just about every single game. Those impressive buckets may be common to his teammates now, but there's one shot from this season that stood out the most. What would you say if I told you you are one of the best shooters in college basketball?
Tapped out to McGhee, in rhythm, catch, fires, bang! Wow, he amazes us every time he's got the basketball.
I'm going to be completely honest, nothing that Darius does shocks me or surprises me anymore.
McGhee, deep three, oh my! Pulls up for three, oh my!
Some of Darius's crazy shots probably aren't that crazy anymore to him.
McGhee, fading away. Darius McGhee is unstoppable.
Kind of common now, just him making the shots all the time.
Right back to McGhee, pulling three, the whistle, and he backed it in. The kid can't miss.
I actually this season have refused to stand up and down every time Darius shoots a three.
He's dangerous from downtown. He steps back for a deep three and drills it. That is what Darius McGhee can do.
I'm numb to it from seeing it so often in practice. I mean, you guys only get a little dose of it in the games, but it's just special to watch.
When the Flames need it most, Darius McGhee puts that cape on back of his number 2 jersey.
What's the craziest shot that you've ever witnessed in a game?
The craziest shot I've ever witnessed.
I actually did stand up one time this year. Probably the one that I remember the most is at Bellarmine.
The one at Bellarmine was probably the top one with the left hand.
Probably at Bellarmine this year.
He'd done it twice already, but the one in Bellarmine was ridiculous.
Right corner McGhee lets it fly with a left hand, falling down, and all he could do is smile, and he buried it. Goodness gracious.
There was 4 seconds left on the shot clock.
He's coming around the screen, and there's 2 players on him.
Saw Darius on the wing, pass it to him. It's like, he's probably going to hit a better shot than I am.
And he throws it up with his left hand.
He threw one up left-handed against a double team, and
he was able to get it off with his left hand.
I honestly didn't see it because I was actually running towards the rim, like looking for the rebound.
I remember sitting there, and I hear Zach Cleveland go, "No way this goes in." Watching the ball, and it drops, and we're like, all right, it's okay though.
And he hit it, and I was like, okay, Darius, I haven't seen that one before. And so I stood up and started clapping.
The day after, went to practice. We're all trying to like remake the shot, like playing around. We passing the ball. He turns around, left hand, makes it on the first try. And we're just like, it's whatever at that point.
Obviously, he has the talent on the court, but just seeing how he handles himself off the court is what makes him special.
Darius McGhee to me is probably one of my most favorite teammates I've ever got to play with.
Darius is a really, really good dude.
He's one of the most selfless guys I know.
Darius is a family member.
This an unselfish player that's like loves the game and just plays with pure joy, and it's really fun to watch.
Something that can't get talked about enough is just the humility that he kind of lives in and walks in.
How humble he is and how caring he is. He'd rather give the shine to someone else than have it for himself.
For who he is and what he's accomplished, you wouldn't know if you just hung around him because he's so humble, but he's that guy.
Darius McGhee is, if not the best, one of the best players ever play here.
What he's done for Liberty basketball, what he's meant to my life, has been amazing.
I think getting to kind of see the way that he's grown as a man has been probably kind of the coolest thing of it.
Just owe that guy a lot for what he's done for me personally and for our team.
Man, how could you not be a Darius McGhee fan?
I know.
I know
Don't
those.
get me emotional. Don't get me emotional.
Those guys are maybe used to some of those crazy shots by now. I am not.
Never.
I don't think I've ever gotten used to some of those ridiculous shots we see him make on, like you said, almost a nightly basis. But he is just that kind of special player.
You could see me in the background at the scorer's table, like every single shot. But the two takeaways, Blake Preston not standing up and actually standing up for that shot, and then JV saying like, "Hey, he went to practice the next day and he just made the same left-handed shot."
Yeah, he's just that good. Well, listen, we've all enjoyed the success that Liberty basketball's experienced under Richie McKay's leadership. But even more impressive is the culture that he's built and the selflessness and willingness to serve that his team possesses. That was on display recently when the team invited 7-year-old Zachary Doyle and his family to sit courtside at a game. Zachary has terminal brain cancer, and the Flames wanted to make sure his night was a special one. So after a win over Bellarmine, the team invited Zachary onto the court where they gathered together and prayed for him, and then brought him back into the locker room to celebrate. It was an opportunity to impact this young man in a positive way and use the platform that basketball has provided to show Christ's love.
I think especially for our program and our players, we always want to show everyone that we love and care. He has no idea how much he meant to us and the things we can learn and take from him just to experience it both ways. It's a two-way street. It isn't just us impacting him.
When he came to the locker room, not just to see the joy and the emotion on his parents' face, but this dude was like, I'm one of them. Like, he did our 3-2-1 family, and this every player, coach, staff, manager that was in the room were more blessed than Zachary was, because we got to see the joy on his face. We got to realize how good we have it and how grateful we should be. So it was a great night. It had nothing to do with the outcome of a game, or it had everything to do with these small little miracles that God gives us in our day if we're just quiet enough to listen or pay attention to.
Such a sweet story. All right, let's stay on the hardwood as the Lady Flames remain hot, defeating Bellarmine on Thursday night 77-50. That's good for Liberty's 12th straight victory. Not really a better way for the Lady Flames to come down the home stretch of the regular season. They improved to an overall 20-7 record, their 22nd 20-win season in the last 27 years.
All right, let's head to the Diamond. Liberty Baseball starts the season with 7 straight road games. Now, they would drop the first 3 at Southern Miss before heading to Duke on Wednesday in search of that first win of the year. Our thanks to whoever shot this game on their Motorola Razor. You have a Razor in college, Emily?
Yeah, the hot pink
You
one.
seem like the type that would.
hot pink
The
one.
long ball. Hey, that would prove to be key for the Flames in this one. Cam Troyer had the first one, a 3-run shot the other way for the Clemson transfer. It was part of a 5-run third inning for the Flames. Then in the 4th, Jake Lazaro would leave the building, followed by Gray Betts. Back-to-back jacks put LU on top 7-1, and they would hold on for dear life to take it by the final of 8-6, LU's first win of the year and their 5th straight over Duke.
I still can't believe it's baseball season, but let's take it to the pool now. There's one thing we can all agree on. Liberty Swimming and Diving loves to compete in Knoxville, especially when championships are on the line, because the Lady Flames are undefeated at the Allen Jones Aquatic Center. They've won CCSA titles in 2014, 2020. And yep, you guessed it, again this season. That's good for their 5th straight championship. LU finished with 1,441.5 points, edging James Madison and Queens, respectively. Our good friend Abby Shaw, you know her, friend of the show, she owned the backstroke events once again. Overall, Liberty posted 12 top 9 finishes. Let's hear from CCSA Coach of the Year for the 2nd season in a row, Jake Schellenberger. Coach, does winning ever get old?
No, it doesn't get old, and each year has its challenges, and each year has a different team, and this year it was different competition in the league, which spiced it up a bit with James Madison, Queens, and Old Dominion. You know, great programs, you have to up your game, and so it was a great team weekend, great team win.
All right, coming up, a powerful story about former Liberty football player Matt Sherwood and the blindness that would change his life.
Plus, Rhett McGibbon joins us for the top athlete of the week. That's all when Flames Central returns.
Welcome to Liberty University's online programs, where living out your calling with integrity is what you train to do, and getting ready for the future doesn't mean missing out on the now. Because a university is more than buildings and books, and an education should set you free, not fence you in. Welcome to Liberty's global campus, where distance learning was pioneered and evolved into one of the top-ranked schools in the nation. Where protecting your budget, your time, and your education isn't just a theory, it's our priority. Here, degrees in your field reflect industry demands and help you get ahead of the competition. Where college comes to you, but you can come to college too. Game day, homecoming, graduation day. Your school, your values, your experience, your choice. Welcome to Liberty University, where we train champions for Christ.
So you're looking for a university that has anything you could possibly need.
Anything?
You want a place that has the programs you want to study.
I think I'm going to sign up for the fashion design program.
All right, a place with state-of-the-art facilities.
And who doesn't love big-time sports?
Somewhere you can hike, slide, climb, and most importantly, eat. And all that with a great view? Yeah, I think I know a place.
At Liberty University, we don't just believe everyone should have access to higher education, we make it happen. That's why we are offering our Middle America Scholarship to help families like yours by providing over $20,000 over the course of 4 years. Money should not hold you back from the life-changing experience at Liberty University. Find out if you qualify for the Middle America Scholarship today.
Welcome back to Flames Central. Life is full of trials and tribulations, and while God promises to walk with us in those valleys, it can be difficult for many to trust His plan when it doesn't go according to ours. But for former Flame Matt Sherwood, instead of turning away from the Lord when he was experiencing a life-changing event, he leaned in closer.
I'll never know why I'm going to be blind for the rest of my life, but I know there is a plan and there's a reason. As hard as it is to say, when I look back and instead of being angry and frustrated, I realize I am blessed.
Switch gears and talk about what's been a remarkable week in the stock market.
My workday was waking up at 6:30 in the morning, getting to the city.
The Dow Jones is up 60%.
8:30, economic data. Market opens at 9:30, trading throughout the day. The European close, which would happen around 11:30 a.m., trading there until 4 p.m. to close in New York.
Could market set new records?
Get home for Australia's Open at 6 or 7, Tokyo Open between 7 and 8, go to sleep around 10, wake up before 1 for the close in Tokyo, trade the close in Hong Kong at 4, and then go back to bed for a couple hours.
Matt Sherwood was a young Wall Street trader, and for many years, that was just a typical day.
That's one of the biggest blessings I've gotten from God, is the ability to work relentlessly and work smart and hard. That certainly helped in Wall Street, right? Because that's what's demanded of you.
Matt's merciless work ethic didn't develop overnight. It was homegrown and nurtured on the farm in upstate New York.
I grew up as a farmhand, so I certainly did a lot on the farm, throw hay bales and do milking in the morning. And then I'd go to a restaurant and wash dishes at night. In high school, I was working nights, putting in flooring. I did a lot of odd one-off jobs. I cleared asbestos once, windows, painting. But the only job I quit was slaughtering chickens. Unfortunately, I did that when I could see.
In the fall of 2003, Matt was awarded an academic scholarship to Liberty University. At the same time, he earned a spot on the football team as a walk-on, fulfilling a childhood dream of playing college football.
If you work hard and you love sports, they go hand in hand. I love those times. From the practice field to the game field, any opportunity to put the cleats on and get out there, I really loved it.
After graduating early with a bachelor's and an MBA, Matt would take a job at Morgan Stanley.
We traded all asset classes, so think of stocks, bonds, credit, rates, currencies, and in many ways it felt like being on a football field again. Because taking risk, can play with your stomach a little bit, make your stomach turn, make you a little nervous, and it felt like, getting on the field before kickoff.
Let's talk about the speed with which we are watching this market deteriorate.
You're seeing just broad-based declines across all of the major technology sectors. Apple's under pressure, Yahoo down.
When you're managing money, you're looking to have P&L, right? Profit and loss. You want incremental growth, right? You want to incrementally make money or with the lowest volatility as possible. And at this time, it was extremely volatile.
This is an extraordinary period for America's economy. We are in the midst of a serious financial crisis.
The stock market is now down 21%.
Because we're now down 43%.
And you saw an entire, subprime mortgage asset class going to default. You saw banks' balance sheets being, getting crumbled. Those times were very stressful.
Economists called it the most serious financial crisis since the Great Depression of 1929. But for Matt, a more personal crisis was on the horizon.
It was a Wednesday, it was just part of life, right? I was waking up, going to brush my teeth, and I looked at the mirror, and there was a dot on the mirror. And as I tried to wipe the dot away, the dot was everywhere I looked. I decided that I needed to just go to work. And I worked throughout the day. But the whole time, I would look at different parts, and there's this dot wherever I'm looking. So I'm really looking kind of outside of the dot, around it. And it's literally just a bright, shining dot. Getting ready to get up the next day to go to work, and went to look at the mirror again, and the dot was the size of a quarter. Didn't say anything to anyone. And mind you, I'm young, I'm 24, so a team member on the desk helped, enlarge all of my screens for me.
Matt would continue to work throughout the day and evening. The next morning, he stepped in front of the mirror again.
And that's when I couldn't see my face or shoulders. And that was frustrating. Looking in the mirror and not seeing your face, and I haven't seen my face since then. I remember getting in my car. I really do recall getting beeped at because I went through a red light to get to the train. Got to the train station, went to the city. Remember just having trouble just walking, doing just normal daily things. When I sat at my desk and put my password in, I looked at the screens, I couldn't see anything. Certainly just praying what's going on, and praying for God to be with me. A retina specialist saw me, an ophthalmologist, and it was very matter of fact. You are legally blind today. There's nothing you can do. you're blind. And that was August 15th, 2008. I was very nervous to be blind. It was tough. At the time, I was just trying to figure out just the day-to-day. Sleep. So even if I close my eyes now and cover them, and it's just a bright light. It's like staring at the sun. I just realized I have to be positive. There's nothing I could do. I can't worry about what I can't control. And just need to trust God. We took a flat screen TV that we converted into a computer monitor, looked at different magnifying glass softwares, and I actually was back at work 1 week to the day after I was told I'm blind for life. And I'm blessed that I have a tiny bit of peripheral vision, so I can't see images, so no pictures, the graphics won't work, but I look at, words in contrast. Work was probably a great escape, but I must have ran into about 20, scaffolding pulls on the way to work, and tripped and fell downstairs. And particularly in those first couple of years, bumps and bruises were just part of walking. I was coming home from the Long Island Railroad during a horrible, horrible thunderstorm. I was trying to move as fast as I could with a cane, and unfortunately I went straight into a telephone pole that had nails sticking out for flyers. I woke up in like a wet gutter with blood in my mouth, and I realized I need to do things differently. Chris has been wonderful for my life and for my family. Good boy. Let's go. Thought the dog would slow me down. Testing the dog, I'm blessed.
Good boy, forward. Over left.
And now I have, a black Lamborghini and Chris.
Let's go.
In many ways, my story is a little bit like Job's. I was married on August 8th, 2008 to, my ex-wife, and we ended up having a daughter together. And unfortunately, it didn't work out. The loss of my eyesight was very difficult for her. As a Christian, it's nothing I ever planned on getting divorced. But as the book of Job will tell you, God is good. He restored. I have a wonderful wife, Stephanie. We actually have a 19-month-old daughter, Summer. I hope there's more kids to come.
His resilience is pretty outstanding. He makes a lot of things look easy, even though I know that a lot of things are very difficult for him. It's really important for us to allow him to do things in his own ways instead of interjecting too much and trying to sort of force a traditional way of doing things, finding things, putting things together, and figuring things out. Sometimes he wants to really do it all on his own, and it might take a little more time and it might be unconventional, but it works for him.
Matt no longer wakes up in the middle of the night to monitor overseas markets. He's now started his own business called We Vid It.
The Robinhood app for the film and TV industry. And you can invest in actual securities, actual ownership, equity of, movies and shows.
Can Daddy hold the baby?
What I've learned about myself is I'm resilient. I'm determined to live a normal life, not let this hold me back, overcome the perceptions of my disability and the perceptions of my abilities.
Welcome, have a good day.
And not let my physical disability dictate my life. When things are peachy, you respect God and love God and faithful. But when things are at the worst, it's like you really learn how to depend on Him. And you learn that you fight your battles praying on your knees. And certainly through these challenges, I've really been thankful for God.
Boy, what an incredible piece. Our thanks to John Pratt for producing that. And boy, it's great getting to know Matt Sherwood a little bit and see all that he's been through. All right, time now for Warm, Hot, and Fuego. Rhett McGiven joins us as he does each and every week. Top player moment in Liberty Athletics over the past week. Rhett, theme this week, what do we have?
Not an overall theme, but it is National Tortilla Chip Day, which I know close to your heart. Get a little salsa in there.
More tortilla chips than any human should. Thank you, Rhett, for that.
You're welcome.
That. All right, who's warm this week?
Warm women's basketball block party. I had a stat pop up this past week, blew my mind. 16th in the nation in blocks per game. So I started to go down the list, right? Bella Smuda, 35 blocks on the season.
Okay.
Markova, 25. Berkman, you'd figure she'd be in there, right? 15. Next up, kind of surprised me, Emma Hess, the sharpshooter.
Yeah.
She has 12. And then even Kennedy Williams, your point guard, she has 8. Now,
interesting.
It's great to block, right? But some of these blocks have been game savers. You can go back to Jacksonville State and also Florida Gulf Coast University. Liberty had some blocks in those games where it was pivotal moments, like game savers. So the fact that it's not just for show, they're doing something with it. But man, Smuda Matata, right? We mean those Warriors. She's just hammering people this season.
I love
It's been a lot of fun to watch.
All right, from warm we go to hot. Who's your pick?
All right,
here?
baseball, the flamethrowers. We go back to game 1 against Southern Miss. 16 Ks in this game. Now, you think 16 strikeouts, it's a lot. Yeah, not an abnormality for men's baseball. Last year, they K'd up 16 or more 5 times last season. Blew my mind. This is just a powerful lineup. We go to that first game, okay? Garrett Horn, 7 strikeouts. Cole Garrow, 2 strikeouts. Nick Willard, he only faced 2 batters. He had a K. And then you have Hudson and Hertzler come in. Those guys strike out the side. So these guys are just throwing smoke. And I know the bats have been a little bit quiet, perked up against Duke, but I think when you get into, a rhythm a little bit more, the bats always seem to come a bit later. They're going to be just fine.
Yeah, they program record for strikeouts last year. Good start this year as well.
100%.
All right, finally in Fuego, Rhett, who is it?
All right, swimming and diving. And I know we spoke about them already, but this is a group. When you win 5 times in a row, like, you have to get some recognition. I think you could easily say, it is a dynasty. It really is, because you're going through recruiting classes. It's not like you have the same group for those 5 years. You've got freshmen coming in, learning their, the ropes, and then they're able to just dominate as well. Just an amazing accomplishment for Coach in that group.
Yeah, congrats once again to them. Rhett, great job by you. We appreciate it. All right, don't go anywhere. Much more Flame Central coming up right after this.
Where you train is where you learn how to say, I know this. I've done this. I've got this. I'm ready. So you can surpass expectations when they say you're hired. At Liberty University, you'll train in world-class facilities as you prepare for a world-class career.
A college degree is more than a diploma. It's taking control of your future and finding that next step. At Liberty University, we not only care about your career, we also care about your calling. And we want to help you learn, develop, and grow so you can make an impact as a champion for Christ. Over 450 online programs, one you, infinite possibilities.
Hey, thanks for sticking around, but we're out of time. The Flame Central podcast, powered by Alcova Mortgage. We tell you about it every week. Well, you have to listen. This week's guest, Richie McKay. He was awesome.
It was a lot of fun. And hey, for any stories you might have missed, libertyflamecentral.com is the place to check them out. All right, for Emily, I'm Matt. Thanks for watching. We'll see you right back here next week.